Hi friends, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I'm Austin, and today's video is the Thin House challenge from James Turner. And yeah, I saw the video of James doing this, and I started watching it and I was like, oh, this seems pretty cool. And then as he talked more and more about the rules and stuff, I thought, I should probably do this challenge. So, my policy, typically anytime something like that happens, is then I stop watching the video and I don't, and then, I'll do the challenge. And then once everything's done, including the voiceover, I'll go back and watch just to make sure I'm not copying a style or anything. So, I went for a more modern style house here. And I really like how it looks. I use the hanging plants from Jungle Adventure, and I don't really use them that much. I have recently though, but I really like how they look here. And to talk a little bit about the challenge, it's tough. It's really tough, but I do find it funny though, because I'd actually been wanting to do a thin house. I think maybe one block wider. I'd been wanting to do one for a while now, just kind of out of the blue. A while back I did a 2x10, I think, house challenge that was done by Simarchy, and I had a lot of fun doing that, but I kind of wanted to, kind of with the same idea of, building up and narrow, but, the way James does it, I think it's a really cool challenge and is more creative and I think more interesting than anything I could have ever come up with. So that's why I knew I had to do this. And I really like how it turned out. There was a lot of work to, do what I did, but the one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure this house was 64 tiles and no bigger, because 64 tiles would mean it's a tiny house and not a small house. For what reason? I don't really know, but I really wanted to have a tiny house, even though I'm pretty sure we could have had, a 100 tile home, but where's the fun in that? I mean, it's still a lot of fun, it's a big challenge, but I don't know, I felt like I wasn't, I knew I couldn't probably make the most interesting thin house, but if I could make one of the smallest and interesting thin houses, then I'd be pretty happy. And I think that's what I did here, and so I am pretty happy with this build. But yeah, it was a lot of work to get the first floor done, because I knew I wanted to have the kitchen and I wanted to have the dining room. Early on, I was maybe a little extra hopeful in that I was hoping I could get a living space, really taking advantage of the dining area and maybe putting a TV in the corner or something. But I just felt like it would have been too much in too small of a space, so I ended up not doing that. I also really like the green countertops from Parenthood, but unfortunately I do end up changing them to, I believe, the blue countertops from that same counter set. But the way I ended up styling the house, it didn't look nice with the green, so it was rather unfortunate, but I am really happy with the final outcome. So and then the overall space is, I think, pretty nice. I did test it. The bedroom was the hardest thing to get right. The bed ended up, I think, getting swapped around, between when I stopped recording and when I took screenshots, and I think that was the only thing that was really giving me any trouble, but everything should work in here, so you feel free to download this lot. I'll try to remember to add it to the gallery. I know I haven't been remembering recently to upload houses or builds to the gallery, but hopefully I get the hang of it again and will remember to upload some more of those builds that I've done. But this is, in terms of a week for builds, I'm really excited with this week's lineup of builds. I was able to finish all the builds a little bit early, so I actually know what I'm uploading this week. But they're really fun builds, and I'm really excited to be sharing them with you. As you may have seen on Twitter, last week I was really nervous to share my community lot, the Octopus Cafe, but I'm so thankful for the support that build received, and I really hope that my future builds, including this one, really live up to kind of the things I talked about in that video. But yeah, so one other thing, if you do follow me on Twitter, you might have seen that I kind of went a little stir crazy in the middle of this, quarantine, and I decided to cut my hair. And I don't have short hair to begin, I didn't have short hair to begin with. To be honest, the last time I cut my hair, or I had my hair cut, was probably the end of 2018, I want to say. So my hair was pretty long. I got my hair cut pretty short at the end of 2018, but 2019 was when it was like April of 2019. I was actually going to get my hair cut when I stepped off the sidewalk or the curb and sprained my ankle. That was what I was going to be doing that day, and I ended up never going and getting my hair cut after that. So my hair just continued to grow and grow, and it got pretty bad, and I was actually planning on cutting it the week of basically when everything was shut down, at least in my state. And the reason why I was holding off till then was because I actually had jury duty that was coming up, and I wanted to make sure I got a haircut early enough to where it didn't look really like if it was a really bad haircut, at least give it some time to kind of grow in a little bit. And so that was the plan, at least. And then the stay-at-home order was announced, and that plan kind of went out the window. And now that the weather's getting hotter and more sweaty, I felt the need to cut my hair, so that's what I did. And it does not look great, but it is also it doesn't look as bad as it could have been. I lost my focus mid-cut, and basically one side of my head is uneven, or was uneven, but then through some trial and error I was able to kind of get it back to looking even. But if I was to go out in public, I'd probably get laughed at on the street, but we don't have to worry about that because the stay-at-home order. So that's a way to look at the positives in a negative situation. But I will probably be shaving my head soon. At least, I do have access to clippers or trimmers, and I just have to kind of build up the confidence, I guess, in myself to do it, because it was really stressful cutting my own hair. Like, I basically had to tie my hair up, or put my hair in a ponytail and then cut away. And so I basically kind of have like a bit of a bowl cut, though it's a little bit longer than a bowl cut. Like, I would take a picture, but I don't want that to live on the internet, so I'm not. But I do have a picture of all the hair that collected in my bathtub, because I was at least smart enough to know not to just get that on the floor everywhere. So I did most of the cutting over the bathtub, which on the negative side of things meant that I didn't have a mirror, so I was really going in blind. And I'm really surprised I was actually able to get a pretty decent looking, it's bad, but it's not as bad as it could have been, looking haircut out of it. But anyways, as you can see, screenshots are on the screen. I hope you enjoyed hearing my weird story about a haircut, and I can't wait to show you next week, or this coming week's videos. But if you missed last Friday's video, the Octopus Cafe, then I highly recommend you check out that video. It was a lot of fun to do, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.